Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. We're back here on Marvel Spider-Man 2. So in one of my recent videos, I ended up reflecting on some of the best moments that I was able to experience throughout my 2023, and it made me think to myself, what are some of the hardest lessons that I've had to learn throughout 2023? After doing a lot of thinking, it really boiled down to just 3 things, which I'm going to explain throughout the video. And before anybody decides to go into the comments section and laugh at me for some of the things that I say, I do want you to keep in mind that it's important to have perspective, but also it's important to just be aware of some of the things that you have done or have said and how it's going to shape you into being the man that you want to be in the future. Having a level of self-awareness is important, especially if you intend on doing better to be better as your life goes on. So with that being said, I'm gonna get into it. The first lesson that I ended up learning was to not bother getting a girlfriend until you have your shit together. Like, I remember before I even started doing YouTube and I actually started doing something with my life, I was so concerned with trying to get a girlfriend, especially since I've been out of the game for, well, almost a decade now. And it didn't occur to me until like a year and a half later that I did not have my shit together enough for me to be able to provide for a girl who I can love. Not only that, but I also didn't have anything going for myself at the time, especially since I'm now aware that nowadays women want to get with men who have their shit together and come pre-assembled. But most of all, when I started to become more aware of how women operate in this day and age, it made me realize getting a girlfriend should be the least of my priorities. That's why nowadays I'm not even trying to look for somebody to love, because at the end of the day I'm aware that as a man there's plenty about myself that I have to work on adjusting, but also there's plenty of things about myself that I have to work on improving for the better, so that way I can have a far better chance at attracting a girl eventually down the road. Some people will probably listen to the things that I say and think that I'm just saying a whole bunch of BS, but the reality is I'm just trying to be more aware of how society is progressing, but also how to adapt to the new normal. But for anybody who might end up asking, I do intend on getting a girlfriend eventually in the future. It's just right now getting one is the least of my priorities, as I have lots of things about myself that I have to work on improving for the better, and until I get my shit together, I can't be searching for love. It's sad for me to say, but it's still the truth regardless. Another lesson that I learned in 2023, and I would even go as far as to say that this is the biggest L that I've taken this year, it's that acting on your feelings is a very illogical thing to do as a man. A lot of the decisions that I have made this year have solely been based on how I was feeling in the moment, and as a result, it hasn't paid off well whatsoever. It didn't occur to me until later on in the year that acting on your emotions is very illogical to do, as some of the decisions that you end up making from doing so is not going to pay off well in the long term. I don't want to get too deep into it, but what I will say is that acting on your emotions as a man, I do not advise that you do so, as you're going to end up making decisions that are not going to benefit you at all. On top of that, it's also going to hinder your growth as a man in the long term, and that's just something that I wouldn't want to see any other guy go through too. Just to reiterate, acting on your emotions is very illogical to do as a man, as your feelings change on a whim and you're never going to be sure of exactly what you want to do next. The third and final lesson that I ended up learning in 2023 is that the path to success, it's going to be lonely, but at the same time, it's also necessary. What I've come to learn is that when you're on the path to success, regardless of what it is that you're trying to aspire to be in life, you want to be able to align yourself with people who are contributing to your growth, but are also contributing to your mission in life. You don't want to surround yourself with people who aren't going to help you grow in whatever it is that you're trying to achieve, and are going to drag you down from reaching your full potential. Don't get me wrong, I understand that there are friends that you've made growing up that you still chat with to this day, that you developed such a strong bond with. There were a lot of moments that y'all created together, and you look back on them as memories to this day. Don't get me wrong, I understand that too. For me personally, like, there are people who I've met growing up, who I've created moments with that I look back on as memories that I still cherish as well to this day. But then it hit me that if those people are not contributing to your mission and they're not helping you grow in what you want to be professionally, they need to be cut off. And don't get me wrong, I am aware that there are some outliers who will do their utmost to ensure that they help you grow in what you aspire to be, to ensure that you make it to the top and you're successful at what it is that you do. I'm just saying, for those who are not contributing to your mission, if they're not helping you grow in any way, shape, or form, then they need to be let go. And that was one of the hardest lessons that I ended up learning later on in the year. The path to success, while it can be very lonely, at the same time, it is also necessary for you to go through, because you'll then become more wary of the people that you want to be surrounded by, which is people who are contributing to your mission and are willing to help you in any way, shape, or form to ensure that you reach the top and that you are successful at whatever it is that you are aspiring to be. Even if you're trying to get advice on what it is that you're trying to do professionally, you wouldn't want to seek that advice from somebody who hasn't spent a moment of their life experimenting with what you're experimenting with. You want to get advice from somebody who has experience in what it is that you're doing professionally. You'd want to seek advice from somebody who knows what they're doing, rather than some average Joe who has never done something like this in their life to know how it works. I'm just keeping it real here, like, please don't get mad at me. But to reiterate, the path to success, while it is going to be very lonely, at the same time, it's necessary to take, because along the way, you end up learning exactly who you want to surround yourself with, especially those who are going to contribute to your mission with the hopes that they see you succeed as well. And if it means I have to cut some people off in order to ensure that I become successful at whatever it is that I aspire to be, so be it. Anybody else would do the same thing if they were in my shoes. But yeah, that's pretty much the lessons that I have learned throughout 2023. While it has been a good year for me personally, at the same time, there have definitely been some L's that I've taken throughout the year that I'm still learning from to this day. And as I mentioned early on in the video, some of y'all can laugh at me for some of the things that I say, but the reality is, I do think it's important to have a moment of self-reflection and realize that some of the decisions, but also some of the things that you end up saying or doing, could have an impact on you for better or worse. And I also think that it's important to learn from those and figure out exactly how to go about it differently the next time you find yourself in a situation where it could make or break your future. But I want to know from you guys, what are some of the biggest lessons that you ended up learning in 2023? Let me know in the comments down below. I want to know what you guys have to say. But anyways, guys, I want to thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to drop a like on it. And if you enjoyed this type of content, you are more than welcome to hit that subscribe button and that bell notification so you could be notified of when my newest video has gone live. But until then, thank you all so much for watching. It's been your boy Discreet, and I'll catch you in the next video.